Welcome back to my first home brewing adventure. It's been 3.5 weeks now since we put the wort into the fermenting bucket, and it's time to check to make sure that it is done fermenting so that we can go ahead and bottle it up. Now, in order to find that out for sure, what you need to do is check the specific gravity of the wort twice. Once and then 48 hours later check it again. Well, I've already checked it 48 hours ago, and now we're going to go ahead and do the final check, and if the reading that I get this time is the same as the reading I got 48 hours ago, then that means the yeast is done, the fermenting has occurred, and it'll be time to start thinking about bottling. Now, I'm not going to bottle right away because I'm going to use a technique called cold crashing. And what that is, that just means I'm going to put it out in my unheated garage for about 3 days and let the cold air, the cold temperatures will help all the yeast solids and such that are still suspended in the wort will fall to the bottom of the bucket and help to clear up the final beer. So we're going to go ahead and draw a sample now. I've got my sample tube here, and I've got my hydrometer for testing the gravity. So I'm going to go ahead and get a sample. That will probably be enough. Now, John's not here to run the camera right now, so I'm going to go ahead and cut away, and then I'll do a close-up of this so you can see what I see. A little spin to help get rid of any bubbles that might be around it. Let's see if I can get a close-up of that for the camera. Okay, I've placed the hydrometer in the sample, and our final gravity reading on this is 1012. That's exactly what it was 48 hours ago, so that tells me that fermentation is complete. And so the next step is put it out in my garage to cold crash it so that it'll help clear up the beer. And in about 3 or 4 days, it'll be time to start bottling. And once we start bottling, we will video that for this part of the homebrew video, that is. And I'm going to have to go use the alcohol by volume calculator, but based on the original gravity of 1060 and this final gravity of 1012, I think that should bring the alcohol by volume of this homebrew to around, I think, probably 6 to 6.3, somewhere in that vicinity, which is about what I was shooting for. So I'll let you know exactly what it is after I've run the numbers through the calculator. So until we get done with the cold crashing and we get to the bottling part, we'll be seeing you. Greetings and welcome to bottling day. The beer has been in the fermenter for about three and a half weeks. It's fully fermented, and it's been out in my cold garage for the last 4 days or so. So today is bottling day, and the things you see here, the first step is same as the first step in anything having to do with home brewing your beer, and that's sanitizing everything that's going to come into contact with your beer. So what we've got to do before we can bottle the beer is we're going to have to sanitize the bottles. Now these bottles here are brand spanking new that I bought from the brew shop. So normally if you were reusing bottles that you'd already used, you'd want to wash them out with a mild detergent and then sanitize them. But since these are washed at the factory before they're sent out and sold, the only thing I should need to do is sanitize them. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you. I've got a little device here that I bought for sanitizing bottles that is makes it a whole lot faster and handier than pretty much any other way. I'm using stuff called Star San, which is an acidic no rinse sanitizer. The residue left by it won't hurt the beer at all. So that's what I'm using now. John will come over here. I'll show you how this thing works. It's pretty simple. And come on over, John. Let's get a good. Got it? Okay. You just put this thing on the nozzle and you pump it a couple of times, and it draws the sanitizer from the bowl up through the nozzle and squirts it into the bottle, and then it pours it back into the reservoir and to get recycled. And then you take the bottle and we put it on the drying rack, which I've also previously sanitized by spraying it with some sanitizer in the spray bottle. Like I said, everything that's going to touch the beer potentially needs to be sanitized. For that reason, I've got my bottle caps, my tubing, and my bottling wand all sanitizing, and also. Alright, so I'm going to finish sanitizing these bottles and let them sit on the rack for about a half an hour. And once I've done that, then I'll get everything set up to do the actual bottling. And we will show you that when we get back. Alright, we got everything sanitized and everything positioned where we need it. And we're going to get ready to start putting some beer in some bottles, capping them and labeling them. We've got things set up here so that myself, John, and my wife, the Invisible Woman, will be running a sort of an assembly line. Hopefully it'll go smoothly. We've never done this before, so you never can tell. What we're going to do, I got the bucket here that has the beer in it, and I've got my carbonation drops, which is basically just solidified sugar. These are made by Cooper's. Makes it just more convenient for priming the bottles. I'm going to be using my dishwasher lid here as a workstation. I've got a piece of tubing and a bottling wand attached, ready to go. Then we're going to do this 6-pack at a time. I'm going to put the carb drops in here. Then one bottle at a time, I will fill up the bottles. And once I've got the 6-pack done, I'm going to hand it over to John. John will take it over there to the bottle capping station, where he will take the sanitized bottle caps and he will cap the 6-pack. When he's done capping a full 6-pack, then he's going to take it over behind the camera to where my wife, the Invisible Woman, is, and she's going to apply our labels that I made up for our beer, and I'll show you the labeled bottles at the end. So that's about it. Let's get to work. We just put one carb drop per 12-ounce bottle. If these were bigger bottles, you'd use proportionately more carb drops. But what these do is they provide the priming sugar, which the yeast, there's still some live yeast left in the wort, and when you put it in the bottle, what this will do is they'll eat the sugar and create CO2, which gives you your carbonation for your beer. So hopefully I'll get this done without screwing up, because I've never used one of these before. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I think I need I think I need to take the airlock out. That way we get a little air intake, so it'll fill up the tube a little faster. I may have gotten a longer tube than I required. Just wait for the tube to fill up. Remember, I did say I've never done this before, only seen it on YouTube. Alright, well, let's try this. The theory is, there's a little valve here, you stick this in there, you fill it up, and then you remove the wand, and the level comes down to where it should be. And so far, we seem to be working. That looks about right. So that's our first one. Yeah, this is why I decided to use my dishwasher lid as a workstation, so any leakage spills would not be all over the floor. Let's try another one. So far, so good. We're just going to let the camera run while I do this, and that way, if we have any spectacular events, like me knocking over the bucket, or fun things like that, it'll be caught on tape. But otherwise, we're just going to go ahead and go about the business of bottling and capping and labeling, and when we're all done, if nothing spectacular happened, then I'll edit it down into a lot shorter video. But make sure you don't miss any of the exciting parts. So here we go. So I won't be talking much during this. I'm sure you'll be thankful for that. Yeah, this does leak a lot. But the wand seems to be working the way it's supposed to.
Does crime ever pay? I alone know, for I am the shadow